What's up, everybody? Hanging out with my buddy Carl. He just dropped his dinosaur on the floor, but he's a good boy. Yeah, so some Tuesday night thoughts. Looks like Carl wants to play with his dinosaur, but I'm not going to play with him right now. Come here, bud. Carl's buddy. Yeah. So it's 9:57 p.m. I like to be in bed by about 8:30 so I can get up early and do my morning routine, but we have had some schedule changes, which I'm rolling with. It's a good practice to see if you can be resilient. It's easy to say you're resilient, and then it's a little more difficult to be resilient when the time for resilience comes. So, since this quarter started, and Jess is directing the Biblical Core course, the YWAM base here had given us a nanny, our friend Inga, who did the Biblical Core course during the fall quarter. She's from Norway, and she was our nanny for this quarter, but she left tonight to head back to Norway. So she was a huge blessing to us for the beginning of this quarter, hanging out with Ansel for about 8 hours a day, 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the after lunch, which freed both Jess and I up to do a lot of other work that needed to be done. So, yeah, I think we were assuming that they would replace her, but they were unable to do that, and so now we're kind of scrambling to figure out what to do. And I'm not blaming anyone at all. I think my flesh wants to be entitled and blame, and that's what we do when we just being honest there, that's what we do when we face hardship. We try to blame everyone else but ourselves, but it's just like I should have seen this coming and should have been more proactive about this to start out with. So Grant Cardone in his book 10X talks about how if you got in a car accident, there's a million different variables that you had control over that you could have changed. And my buddy Jeff, as I was talking about this stuff today, he reminded me of that. And so that's true. I also heard, I'm doing the OFA 30-day challenge again, and I'm not sure what I think of the statement, but the guy Steven Larson in one of his coaching calls said that no one cares more about you than you, and no one's going to be looking out for you like you. And it made me think that that's really true. You got to look out for yourself because no one else is going to be looking out for your best interest. But the caveat there obviously is except Jesus. Jesus is looking out for you more than you're looking out for yourself. So that's a true statement, and we need to make sure that's in the forefront. But besides that, no one else is as intimately knows your schedule, knows the context of your life, knows your intimate needs. And so we have to be brave communicators, as Danny Sillick would say, to communicate what we need and to be on top of our schedule and not thinking that we're gonna be able to wait for other people to come in and rescue us per se or provide for us in that way. We've got to be proactive. We've got to plan. We've got to look to the future. And so, so I'm readjusting my schedule now. Been using Google Sheets a ton for a lot of different things, so I'm readjusting my schedule now. What's really good is I really felt I read Free to Focus by Michael Hyatt and Procrastinate on Purpose by Rory Vaden, and they were just talking about automating, delegating, and not doing certain things, removing tasks completely. So I've really been thinking about that and realizing after having a son that my emotional energy is a limited resource, my time is a limited resource, so what in my schedule can I remove? And so just this last week, I started training a guy to clean 2 of the sites. A friend of mine is going to help me out with 2 of those sites, so I'm going to delegate those to him, which will free up 2 days of cleaning. And then I also we were at a natural stopping point with one of my worship teams, and we practiced on Monday nights for a couple hours, and so I got that off my plate right now as well. And so it's super good timing that I did those things, because this week we're out of nanny, which means I'm readjusting my schedule to hang out with my son a whole lot, which is awesome. I'm glad I have the flexible schedule to do that. It's just a little bit jarring because I thought that, being selfish with my time and feeling entitled to my time, I felt like I was excited to free up my time from those things that I delegated, and got off my schedule so that I could work on some other projects looking into the future that I was really excited about. So that's not going to happen right now. And so it's just good. This is a season, and it's going to be good. So I just need to make sure that I'm really maximizing my time. It's a little weird because I'm going to get up early, do my morning routine, and then I'm going to hang out with my son for most of the morning while Jess is in class. We're going to all eat lunch together. That's going to be our one time to connect. That's my OMAD. And then most afternoons into the evening is when I'm gonna work. So I just finished working right now. It's about 10 p.m. I created trying to create some systems for church communication stuff. So I created a Google Sheet. I've been into Google Sheets lately. Created a Google Sheet for church, just kind of letting everybody know who's on deck for volunteering and some of their responsibilities and stuff like that. I think it's going to be a big adjustment, because it's just a different way than we've been doing things, but I think it's a much more efficient process. We were using Word documents and sending multiple attachments per email, and this is just a link that people can click on and they can see everything they need there. But I realized after I sent that email that I'm going to have to probably include one more thing, but that's not a big deal. It'll be all in one place for me, and I don't have to look around and search for files. So I'm excited about that system. We'll see how everyone else thinks about that. Jess has a 5-year journal, and so she asked me what the date was, and today's May 7th. And she said, "Hey, last year we were in New York City." So that's pretty fun to think about. What else here? Oh, I just saw something on Instagram from the founder account, which is like an entrepreneur account, and it said, if the glass is half empty, fill it up. Don't wait for anyone else to fill it up. And I think that goes along with what I was talking about earlier too, that we have to take ownership of things, especially our mood and things like that, and our schedules. We have to take ownership of those things, and we can't wait around for other people to put our best interest first. I don't know, that sounds selfish. So it's interesting to think about what the best way to word that is. But yeah, just trying to be efficient and make the most use of my time, which requires a ton of discipline. And I need to make sure that I'm getting up early and nailing my morning routine, because those are the things that I find valuable and feel recharged after doing. But yeah, again, just creating that Google Sheet of my weekly schedule has been super helpful. Just even realizing that I need to have structured time with my son, and I'll shoot a future video about that, some of the things that we do. But this morning I took him and the dog for a walk, and that was good. Just good to get outside with him and have some structure and activities that we're going to do. So I'm looking forward to figuring out more activities for us to do as well. So it's going to be good. It's a good season. I think I have to put some things on hold and pause, but it is just a season. Jess is going to wrap up the school at the end of July, I think, middle of July. I don't know when it is, but it's going to be good. But I think we both feel a little overwhelmed. So if you're the praying type, you could pray for us, just because we don't have as much free time now as we did before. And so that uninterrupted time, able to focus for a long time, that is something that we're both losing a lot of. And so we just got to be much more efficient with the time that we do have. So I've got some commitments coming up that are going to require some focus. I'm teaching the book of Revelation. I think I'm doing that over 2 or 3 days. I think it's 3 days, so it's not a small teaching, and I need to prepare for that. So I need to just figure out when I'm going to do that, and so it's gonna be good. I'm gonna burn some midnight oil, I think, here pretty soon. Be working late into the night or early into the morning or something like that. But I'll figure it out, and it'll be good. And I just love God's timing. I love that last week I got some big chunks of things off of my schedule because God knew that this was coming. I should have known this was coming too, but I think we just assumed again that there would be a replacement, but there isn't. So that's okay. And yeah, I think I would be freaking out even more if I still had those other three responsibilities on my plate. So real good timing. So I think my question for tonight is, if you have children, what are some activities that you do with your infant? And what are some activities that I should be doing that would be fun during our morning time together? So there it is. All right. Have a good night. I'm going to go to sleep now and hopefully wake up at 4 a.m. I shouldn't say hopefully because I'm in charge of that. I am setting an alarm to do that, and I need to not hit snooze. I need to just get up, even though that's coming real soon, and I'm going to be tired. But it's going to be good. I'm going to set a second alarm as well, just in case I kind of, in my sleepiness, hit snooze and then it turns off. So, alright. Jocko would be proud. Alright, guys. Good night.